The deadlift is kind of a fundamental movement to get right, to kind of layer the swing on top of. Some of the main things to think about with the deadlift is that you're trying to get this hinge through the hips. This is the most important bit. There should be no movement through your spine. All the movement and the bending comes from this hip crease here. So we want to slide our hips backwards, and all of that bend comes from that hip crease. There should be no movement from your tailbone all the way to kind of the crown of your head. There's no movement through that line of your spine. And if you can get that right, that's that fundamental hinge movement that is the deadlift, and it is the kettlebell swing, and a lot of the other movements that we'll layer on top. So when you come to set yourself up to do a kettlebell deadlift, you want the handle of the kettlebell just in line with the arches of your feet. Find that hip crease is always useful to do at the start. Slide your hips back. And then what you'll also find as you kind of slide your hips back is your shoulders need to come forward. So if you watch where my center of mass is here, I slide my hips back, but my shoulders are also coming forward of the kettlebell. It's like a cantilever. So as the weight transfers back, I have to balance it up by bringing my shoulders forward. So my shoulders now are in front of the kettlebell as my hips are behind the kettlebell. From here, I'm going to squeeze my shoulders down my back. That's going to start building that tension through lats. Tension's on through the core. And then I press the floor away with my feet. Squeeze your bum because it's your glutes that are driving your hips underneath your chest. Sit back, shoulders come forward. Drive my hips underneath my chest. To keep my shoulders in front of the kettlebell, I've got to keep strong through these lats. If I let the kettlebell just start drifting forward, that's because I don't have enough tension through here to hold that kettlebell in line. And that becomes really important, not just in keeping the weight underneath your hips, but also as you move on to kettlebell swings, in making sure that the kettlebell's in the right position at the bottom of the swing. Another thing you can do to start building the tension through the deadlift is, as you grab hold of the handle, is gently try and break the handle. And you should see as I try and do that instantly, shoulders come down your back, lats switch on. And then the other thing that I can do is I can try and screw my feet into the floor. And again, as soon as I do that, a lot more tension starts to drive through my glutes and my legs. And really squeeze your bum as you get to the top of the deadlift. Squeeze your hips through. Done.